We begin this evening with a tale of extreme drunkenness and burnt cakes that for once doesn't involve Paul Hollywood trying to give Mary Berry a cream pie. Up half-baked Adam Buxton tells this one, having drunk 4 pints of beer, 1 G&T, 1 mojito and 3 shots of tequila for the cause.
Howdy. This is the story of a man known as Alfred, the Great. Why the Great? All right, calm down. The Great because he absolutely stopped the Vikings from Viking the mother-loving shit out of all the south of the England area. That's why the Great. The place is Wessex, and the king around that time was Alfred. At that point, he was just Alfred the Mediocre. Oh, I'm King Alfred the Mediocre. Maybe one day I could fuck off the Vikings and get a slightly better title like King Alfred the Slightly Encouraging or something like that. That would be better than what I got now. Meanwhile, the king of the Vikings at this point is King Guthrum. And there have been many Viking raids on England up to that point. And King Guthrum is thinking of another. Guys, I'm thinking, let's go to England, yes? And what about, we've done Mercia, we've done Northumbria, we've done St. Parks, East Anglia, which was great, really fun, zip wire, loved it. But what about Wessex? Haven't done Wessex, how about it, guys? Who's up for it? So King Guthrum of the Vikings heads across to Wessex. And he immediately meets King Alfred. Okay, King Alfred, I'm so sorry, but I am coming to attack the mother-loving hell out of you. Bloody fucking, what the fuck is this? I totally can't believe it. At this point, King Alfred runs away, as any brave man would. I'm just going to go and take some time out, trying to chill the hell down, and I'm going to go to the Somerset Marshes. It's a lovely place to spend some time with your family. So he goes out there with the guys, but they end up spending quite a few months there trying to avoid the Vikings. And things are tough for them out there in the Somerset Marshes. They have to go out foraging for food here and there. At one point, King Alfred was wandering around absolutely starved out of his mother-flipping mind. And he came across a hut. Excuse me for the previous burp. He came across a hut owned by a woodcutter, within which was a wife. A wife. She was baking cakes. And King Alfred, who loved cakes, smelt the waft of the cakes. I can smell cakes! Oh! I want to see the cakes! Shit! I can smell cakes! I want to see cakes! Mmm! King Alfred goes into the house. Take a look at those cakes! The wife of the woodcutter was shocked. What the bloody hell are you doing there? Woo! I don't know what you're talking about. All I can see is cakes. I can smell the cakes. Take a look at those cakes. Please, can I have some cakes? She smacked him squarely in the face and said, "What? Stop doing that. That's slightly racist what you're doing." And King Alfred came round. "I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The thing is that I was totally beguiled by the smell of your cakes. I'm out in the marshes with the guys fending off the Vikings. Can I have a little bit of cake and maybe get some nice sleepy time in your house?" So the woodcutter's wife says, "Well, you can have those cakes, as long as you watch them. Don't let them burn while I'm out milking the cows." And while the woodcutter's wife is absent, his mind starts a-racing. Oh, God, what am I going to do? I've got, totally loads of Vikings. They want to take over Wessex. I haven't got nearly enough men to defend myself against those guys. Oh, this is a nightmare job. I wish I'd never said yes to being King of Wessex. Suddenly, the woodcutter's wife returns and sees that her cakes are totally burned. "Oh my God, you totally let my cakes all burn and everything. Get out of my house. I'm absolutely sick of you. And what's more, I'm going to take a stick to you." She picks up a stick and starts whacking the king. This is the King of Wessex with her stick. So Alfred leaves the woodcutter's house and he rejoins his guys who are foraging for any food they can find. "Guys, have you found any fish? Only limited number. How many have you found? Limited number. Exactly how many? 1. Can I have it? Yes, you are the king. You can have it. When suddenly, from nowhere, a beggar man appears, all in rags and shit. Give me that fish. Alfred says, sorry, what? Come on, give me that fish. Not being funny, but I didn't understand what you just said. You see that fish? Give me that fish! Oh, right. You want a fish? Okay, you go ahead. You look like you've had a tough time, and I'm a nice guy, so you... Thanks for the fish! And off he goes into the distance. Later that night, Alfred falls into a deep, deep sleep. And in his dreamy dreams, he's visited by a vision of that same beggar man and saying, Alfred, if you want to vanquish the Viking, pick up your horn, pick up your toot horn, and blow on it 3 times, and then you will be joined by the fighting man. They will vanquish the Viking for you. King Alfred woke up with a start, as you would after that kind of a dream, which we've all had. And he's like, what the bloody shit was that? Probably worth giving it a go. So takes out his toot horn, gives it a nice toot, loudly mime, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. And before he knows it, he's surrounded by, like, guys, army guys, all there to vanquish the Viking hordes. Oh. Meanwhile, a few miles away, King Guthrum is crouching with his guys, his Viking guys, and he hears the toot of the horn as well. What the bloody heck? What's that sound? Whatever that bloody fucking sound was, I think that's probably bad news for us Viking guys, because that sounds like a toot horn calling together a load of bloody fucking armies from around the area. What are we going to do now?
Well, I don't know. We could just sort of hang out in the marshes, wait for all the Alfred's armies to come and, you know, get all fighty. Or we could go and meet them.
Let's go and meet them, fuck it. The Wessex guys and the Vikings clash at the Battle of Hastings. And they absolutely are smashing. I don't like your Wessex guys. I don't like you Viking guys, your stupid hair, that kind of thing. And eventually, after a lot of bloodshed, the Wessex guys are victorious. And King Guthrum says, okay, this is too much for me, we surrender. I don't really want to go back to Denmark, is the only thing. Is there any way I can stay here, but, you know, like, fit in with whatever you want in some special way? Yeah, I think that's probably okay. Why don't you stay here? And what we could do is draw some random lines over the map. And we can, like, say that you rule stuff north of the lines, and I rule stuff south of the lines, and we won't really give each other too much shit. What about that? That's great, okay? We do everything we want up north of the line. You carry on doing all your bullshit down south of the line. See you, bye!
And so King Alfred became known as King Alfred the Great. And he was known as the Great because he was the man that vanquished the Vikings. He kept us away from the whole world of Danish culture, a world that incorporates free love, pastries, and engaging crime writing. Essentially, King Alfred's a fucking twat.
We're learning about the Battle of Hastings. We could either A, study the awe-inspiring Bayeux tapestry, or B, get Nick Helm smashed out of his chubby little skull and ask him to tell us about it. We went for option B. Here he is after 6 bottles of beer, 3/4 of a bottle of amaretto and 2 double vodka sodas.
Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. My name's Nick Helm. Welcome to my historical world. So today, I will be talking you through the Battle of Hastings. It starts in 1064. Harold Godwinson is this earl or something, and he's like a member of the British aristocracy, and he's proper good, and he's friends with William the Bastard. Right, now, William the Bastard is called William the Bastard because when he was conceived, his parents weren't married, yeah? But on top of that, he's a cunt. He ripped a man's tongue out of his head and nailed it to his front door, right? That's how much of a cunt he is, right? Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, like, French and English for years have like had a timeshare deal where the king of one has been the king of the other. When he's died, the other one's come over. So Harold said, hey, if you want to be king at any point, I am absolutely going to support you. I'm going to back you. I think that you'd be a good king. I think that's a good choice. I think that's brilliant. So skip forward a few years, and the King of England, Edward the Confessor, he just dies, right? And then Harold turns around and goes, oh, well, fetch me my quill and parchment. I better write to William the Bastard and tell him that it's his turn to be king now. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Hang on a minute. Why, the dress is just there. Why don't I try it on for a while? And he does, he just whacks it on. And he goes, I actually quite like being king. Yeah. Quick as a puddle. Harold the fucking greatest.
Godwinson.
Harold Godwinson is king, which is great. Everyone's really happy about that. Until, of course, William the Bastard finds out that he has been usurped. Typically, he reacted badly to it. Mary, I'm gonna fuck that cunt up with my little hand. You know, like, he Scarfaces it, you know? And everyone's like, bloody hell, not heard that accent before. So, I mean, it's just, what is the point? I would argue, if you didn't know all of this already, I'm not the person to tell you. William the Bastard, he goes from Normandy Beach to fucking Hastings Beach. And everyone's like going like, yeah, well, lads. And William falls over, he lands on his fucking face on the fucking sand. He's just like, whoa. Looks like I've got a bit of England in my hand already. Everyone goes, bloody hell. I thought he was a bit of a prick, but in actual fact, he's got some classic bands. And they all just went, I will die for you. And a lot of them did. Meanwhile, like, Harold, as soon as he became king, he started picking fights with everyone. So he was there having fights with the Norwegians. He was up north, like near Scotland. And then he'd finished fighting there, and him and his army were absolutely fucking exhausted. You know, they'd been run ragged. And he just goes, oh, well, do you know what? It's fucking brilliant. We've just finished that fight with Norway, and I feel fucking great about this. I feel really good. Do you know what we all deserve, lads? We all deserve a nice sit down and a cup of tea. And some other cunt came along and brought the news to him that he's got to fucking fight the battle downstairs. And Harold said, all right, lads, I know we just finished with the Norwegians. I've got some bad news for you. We've got a 3-week hike back down to a little place that I like to call Hastings. So by the time they got down to fucking Hastings, they just went like, we are fucking absolutely exhausted, aren't we, lads? And they were like, yeah, we're all exhausted. And Harold said, could everybody, just because you like me, pull your socks up real tall, up to the knees, maybe beyond, up to the thighs? Can we all just pretend to be a tortoise together? And they went, what's a tortoise? Is it when we put our shields above our heads and in front of us, like in the square, like the Romans did? And he went, yeah, it's exactly like that. And they did that. And then he went like, yeah. brilliant, probably going to nail this. Plus, we're at the top of a hill, and they're down below us, and we can probably just, like, kill the living shit out of them. Basically, what happened was there was a bunch of cunts that were hiding at the top of a hill, right? And then there were a bunch of the Norman invaders that were at the bottom of the hill. So William the Bastard, he goes, Teleford, you're my best mate. You've got a guitar. Why don't you go up there, sing him a song? So Tennifer, he went out with his guitar, he did a song. It was one of the most beautiful things that's ever been recorded in history. And you can almost picture it, can't you? All of the Brits, they loved it. And for a moment, it was like peace on earth. It was like, do you know what? Let's put aside our differences. I'm sorry I said that you could be king and that I fucked you over. And he was just like, do you know what? I'm sorry that I overreacted so much. Of course, you know, if I'd been offered the chance to be king, I'd have taken it. And Tennifer, all of a sudden, he fucking ploughed it into some guy's head, right? And then they got absolutely smashed the shit out of by the Brits. It's a bloodbath, which is where the phrase bloodbath came from, right? The Norman invaders, they went, let's turn around and get back down the hill. And Harold said, I was talking to you. By which point they all turned around and one can put an arrow in Harold's eye. And Harold, he was just like, what? I was using that, right? And, you know, to see. But I've now got no depth perception. I'm not happy about this. So Harold, he grabbed hold of his fucking arrow, he yanked it right out, and it had his eye on the end of the arrow. And there was a Norman that saw him do that. And he saw that that guy was just like going, oh my God, I can't believe I've just seen that. And Harold, he saw that, and so just sneakily, Harold ate it. And Harold's like, fuck you, you Normandy cunts, right? Harold was fighting with one eye, by which point somebody came along and he stabbed Harold in the fucking heart, right? He stabbed him in the heart, right? By which point, like, William the Bastard is like, fucking hell, I absolutely respect everything about you. Right? I thought this was going to be an easy one. I thought we'd get here, party in Hastings for 3 weeks, you'd do all the heavy lifting by walking that far. In actual fact, I think the only natural thing to do is for all of us to just surrender. And Howard was like, really? No, mate, you died when we stabbed you in the heart. All of this is just your death dream. You're dead, mate. You're maggot shit. That's actually how it happened, and you can check that on the Bayeux Tapestry. And so they chopped him into lots of little pieces. They chopped his, like, every single fucking toe off, and they chopped him off at the ankle, right, and they chopped him off at the shin, chopped his fucking head off, and they spread him along the entire battlefield, right? So they spread him out everywhere. And basically, William the Bastard, he went from fucking Hastings to Sussex to Kent, and he killed everything that fucking moved. He killed everything, right? And on Christmas Day that year, as a nice little Christmas present to himself, he christened himself William, not William the Bastard, yeah, William the Conqueror, yeah, because he basically conquered the entire of England. And later that year, he went on to win the Academy Award, right, for Best Actor, Director, and Screenwriter, right? And he was the first person to ever get the Holy Trinity. And if you write that in your GCSEs, you'll probably get an A.
Next up tonight, we have William Wallace, a story that combines an angry Scotsman with lots of booze, and for once, doesn't involve a massive fight kicking off. Oh, hang on. Yes, it does. After 4 ciders, 4 double gin and tonics, and a Jaeger bomb, here's Daniel Sloss with the details.
I'm going to tell you about one of the greatest Scots of all time, Sir William Wallace. 1297, many years ago, up in Scotland, the land of the fuck all. There is old William Wallace, Billy Wallace to his friends. William Wallace has always hated the English. We've been under English rule for a while. The English cunting around, just doing Tory things, just tax here, no disabled ramps there. If you are what you eat, they were all their dad's dicks. And so the Scots are up there, just fucking throwing stones at sheep and questioning the moon. But we were getting a bit unruly. So they sent up some fucking sheriff. And he's like, pay your taxes. And we were like, well, we don't really fucking know what taxes are, we're all mates. He's like, well, do it or we'll kill your wife. So we called his bluff. And then he fucking kills William Wallace's wife. And we're like, well, turns out they know how to call a bluff. Old Billy Wallace is fucked off to the point of no return. Goes to his Scottish mates. I want to start a war. Why? Killed my wife. Fair one, I'm in. Barry, hear about this? Killed Billy's wife. They fucking what? Cut her neck off or something. Fuck that. Where are they? That's what I'm trying to sort. So they all organize a war. So William Wallace is now the leader of the Scottish resistance. Meanwhile, King Edward I, right, who is the first of the bunch of King Edwards, by the way, who are all cunts. So King Edward can't be arsed dealing with the threat from the north. So he sends up
John de Warren.
John de Warren. King Edward goes, look mate, Scotland's getting a bit shitty. I'd rather you go up and fucking deal with them. And John de Warren's like, I want to go up and deal with them. And he goes, well, fucking tough shit, cunt. King of England. Never question me, and if you ever do it again, I'll stab your child in the fucking neck. Can I bring Hugh Cressingham? Hugh Cressingham Sandwich is the tax collector of Scotland. So he's also not excited to come up north. He's very aware of how the Scottish feel about him. And Edward goes, fucking take him up. Like, I give a shit about that cunt. If he fails, I'll kill his kids too. That's what we do. We kill kids. We're the English. That's what we do. Bands with friends. So, they head up north and try and handle the Scots. Bold move. So they get up to Stirling. The two armies meet on opposite sides of the Stirling Bridge. On one side, you have the English. 10,000 heavily armed, along with 3,000 cavalry, also heavily armed. On the other side, you've got about 8,000 Scots. This is a very ragtag group. Oh, I found this sword, and I've got this shield. What's it made of? Just fucking dicks I cut off sheep. We didn't have kilts, that is an ancient myth. We wore tunics that were covered in horse piss. So historically, no kilt, covered in piss. That's the Scottish army. Wallace is standing one side of the bridge, standing his ground. Fuck you, this is mine. They're ready to do battle. Wallace one side, English on the other. English are all ready to charge, like, let's go fuck up these Scottish pricks. Let's just fucking ruin these fucking non-kill, pissy horse tunic wearing Mel Gibson bastards. Who's Mel Gibson? Doesn't matter. Now, the Scots are hugely outnumbered. They don't think they can win, rightfully so. So a bunch of the Scottish are getting scared. So in the movie, this is where William Wallace gives that incredible speech of, you may never take our lives, but you may never, you may take our lives. I'll go again, sorry. You may take our lives, but you may never take our freedom, which would have meant to these people, this is your one chance to stand up to the English. So the English sent across two friars, so they all throw over the bridge, and they're like, right, William, I'm gonna be honest with you, not a fan of this whole thing. Just wondering, on behalf of my boss, any chance you'd be willing to surrender? And William Wallace goes, surrender? I'd love to surrender. He's like, really? He's like, and there's like, well. So they all run across, tell John de Warden. Can I be honest with you? Old Billy Wallace, not for the whole surrender thing. Old John de Warden goes, right, let's have a team huddle. Right. Hugh, Cressingham Sandwich, you in here. Right. What do we do? One of these guys, Richard Lundy, is like, look, Stirling Bridge, it's a shitty two-man bridge. 100 meters either side is our stable crossings. If we were to split our forces, we could do a pincer movement, get rid of these Scots, goddamn immediately. But Hugh, Cressingham Sandwich, just decides, you know what? Nah. 2 at a time against 8,000. 2 by 2. That worked out for Noah. It will work out well for John de Warden. Why would it not? So the English were coming over, being very English about the whole thing. We're like, hello, we're here for a bow. Scots are on this side being like, that's for you. Also, by the way, that's for your mate. On the other side, John de Warden's been like, did they just stab her too? Right, send 2 more over. Have a word with them. Send 2 more over. Scots are going, there's no way. There's no way they're sending 2 more over. That's for you. That's for your mate. Also dead. Right, you know what? Send 4 more. 4 come over. Stab. All dead. They just get fucking massacred. The Scots do not believe their luck. They have just been given the most easy battle of their life. John de Warden is like, you know what, lads? I've misjudged this. Should we jog on back to Essex? So he starts burning the fucking bridge between the Scots and the English, and he fucked off like the pussy he was. Sadly, leaves Hugh Cressingham Sandwich on the other side of the bridge, which means William Wallace and his soldiers catch him, and they were like, how much do you like your skin? And he was like, oh, loads. I'll do loads with my skin. And Wallace was like, well, you love your skin as much as I love my country, and you've taken away my country. So, Billy Wallace cut him up into tiny slices. I shall take a bit of your spine to your arsehole, and I shall use that as the sheath for my sword. Dave, do you want a nipple? Yeah, no, I'd love a nipple, mate. That's for you. Who wants what? My name's Steve, I'd love the gooch. Gooch, how much of the gooch? Most of the gooch. I killed 4 Englishmen. I think I deserve the gooch. That is a valid point, Steve. You get the full gooch. This isn't part of the story where William Wallace becomes a bit of a dick. Even as a Scot, you're like, oh, you ripped all his skin off his body, did you? And you turned it into a wallet for your sword? Ha! So, that was the story of the great William Wallace, who fought off the English. Not only fought them off, killed them. You bunch of fucking pussies. Here's to you, William. I love you so much. Both of them. I'll do both of them. William Wallace, greatest man that ever did live.